It has been over 15 years since we last saw Robert Neville in the post-apocalyptic world, and after years of speculation, we finally have more information about the sequel. Set in a world ravaged by a deadly virus that has turned humanity into bloodthirsty creatures, this film has been a fan favorite for many, and for years fans have demanded more. Well, they finally heard our wishes, so let's dive into what the sequel will look like. Making a sequel seemed impossible for a while since the ending of the movie killed off the main character. However, there was an alternative ending released later which would make the entire sequel possible. After 15 years of multiple attempts to make it happen, Warner Brothers just recently decided to move forward with the movie. When the movie was first released in 2007, it quickly became a huge hit and brought a lot of success.
6 billion people on Earth when the infection hit.
Afterward, many believed that if there were another movie, it would be a prequel instead of a traditional sequel. After a long time of negotiating and deciding what to do next, Warner Brothers ultimately decided to move forward with a sequel. Many have been troubled over the ending of the movie, figuring out how it will play out in the sequel, but as the alternative ending appeared, many believe that this ending should have been the original one and the one that will likely continue in the story of the sequel. For now, all there is to know is that the sequel is happening and has been officially greenlit. Akiva Goldsman has also been attached to the project as a co-writer, meaning that she'll return yet again to make this sequel as successful as the first one. While the movie has been confirmed, there's one question we can't wait to hear the answer to, and that is, when can we see it? Predicting the release date of the sequel is quite tricky. When the movie was released in 2007, many fans believed that by 2009, they would be able to see a sequel and eventually see this turn into a franchise, but that wasn't the case. Following the success of the movie, a prequel was planned starring Will Smith but eventually didn't plan out. So far, it isn't clear who will take the role of the director of the movie, although many are hopeful that Francis Lawrence will be back once again. At this time, the sequel is yet to be given a confirmed release date. Given that the announcement of the sequel is made in 2022, it's likely that fans will have to smash that like button if you haven't done so already. But no, they will have to wait a bit longer before the sequel is out in theaters. Since the announcement of the sequel, it appears that Smith along with Warner Brothers and Goldsman are all eager to go back into this post-apocalyptic world and explore it even further. So far, we've heard small little rumors and news about it, but nothing has pointed toward the release date. If you ask us, we believe that it might reach 2024 or even 2025 before we get to see it. Keeping in mind that everyone involved in this film already has quite a busy schedule, so to add this to that schedule would mean a long time of waiting and planning. Our best guess is that this year they'll have a final script and a date set for when the filming will begin. If the filming begins this year, we'll likely see this film by the end of 2024. In the end, it all depends on the filming schedule and the time the film will spend in post-production. One of the most exciting things we have learned about this film is that Will Smith will be returning. At the end of the first film, we saw his character die, but as soon as the alternative ending was released, it gave us hope that Neville is still out and is going to return any day now. We'll see Neville once again, and it won't be in flashbacks or footage of Neville's experiments logs. In the first movie, Smith gave a powerful performance as the only human on screen. Smith has often expressed his desire to film a sequel, and he was immediately on board when the news broke. Alongside Smith, the only other actor that has been confirmed to join the project is Creed star Michael B. Jordan. This announcement came out of the blue, and all we know is that he'll have a huge part in the sequel, but there's still no confirmation as to the character he'll be playing. Many suggest that Anna and Ethan, played by Alice Braga and Charlie Tan, will return as well, as they were the other two survivors alongside Neville. In the end, they were the ones that were supposed to take the cure and save humanity, but whether they'll come back largely depends on which direction the story will go in.
Open the door, please.
What are you doing?
The 2007 film was an adaptation of the book of the same name by Richard Matheson, and it followed the journey of Robert Neville as the last survivor of a deadly virus that turned humans into bloodthirsty creatures. Neville is a scientist determined to find the cure for the disease and save humanity. Throughout the film, Neville is faced with unimaginable challenges as he battles his way through the desolate streets of a once vibrant city. With danger lurking around every corner, he must use all his wits and survival skills to outsmart the infected and avoid being captured. As the story unfolds, Neville pushes his limits to find a cure, and by the end of the movie, he finally finds one. The original end of the film was a bit controversial as it changed the way the book ended. In the theatrical cut, Neville develops a cure for the disease, but once he does, the Dark Seekers in the post-apocalyptic world have hunted down to his lab with no hope for escape. To save mankind, Neville ends up sacrificing himself by blowing himself up with the Dark Seekers while leaving a sample of the cure to the last two survivors for them to save humanity. This was quite controversial as the book's original ending was designed to have the audience do a complete 180 on their perspective on the Dark Seekers and Neville.
Fix this! I can save everybody! I can fix it! It's working!
After the movie premiered, there was an alternative ending released in which the Dark Seekers hunt Neville down because he kidnapped their leader's girlfriend among the many others he captured and killed to develop the cure. In the eyes of the Dark Seekers, Neville was the villain, and his deadly experiments have already done more harm than good. They see him as a monster and go after him due to the damage he has caused. In this version, Neville ends up releasing the girlfriend as both he and the Dark Seekers go their separate ways, showing us that Neville wasn't the hero we all initially thought he was. The alternative ending shows Neville reaching a truce with the infected who are about to kill him and leaving the city with his friends and fellow survivors. When this ending was released, rumors of a sequel quickly arose. If this was the ending that was supposed to happen, then Neville is still alive out there in the infected world without a cure and appearing as the villain in the eyes of the Dark Seekers. Because of this, we might get to smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. But no, in all seriousness, we might get to see a world where there isn't a cure for the disease, with Neville still trying to make it happen.
God didn't do this. We did.
After a shocking storyline and even more shocking two endings, the future of this film is a bit complicated. Since Smith is back for the sequel, the events of the sequel will likely continue after the alternative ending. Although Neville is still alive, there's no cure available, which further allows Michael B. Jordan's character to exist in a world without a cure. It's still unclear what kind of a role Jordan will have in the film, since it has been confirmed that the sequel will take place decades after the events of the first movie. This will suggest that there will be some major changes in this post-apocalyptic world. The major time jump will allow a lot to happen in the sequel, and a lot will have to be explained through the film. Not much is known about the official plot of the film, but the future of the film is wide open. Anything is possible, and with that being said, the film could take a completely different turn from the first one. Check out this video next.